Hello to everybody, we are Melissa Alice Javier Ernesto Bastruk and Aitana Esteban and we are going to answer the question: is female homosexuality a masculinized behavior? The topic which concerns this presentation is how homosexuality would be influencing behaviors in females. Some decades ago in Western societies, the homosexuality issue has been a hot topic. Due to this, we have made great efforts to answer the question just based on objective data. Besides, it is important to point out that findings have no moral implications, and that this could not be used in order to sustain prejudice and negative stereotypes. Science does not understand about social moral statements. So now, to refocus on our question, is female homosexuality actually a masculinized behavior? Well, in order to provide a good answer, we have looked at the literature. Literature showed that a simple answer cannot be given. We can find many contradictions. For example, this first article is pointing out that homosexual females show more masculinized traits and aspects than heterosexuals. However, another different way to look for this difference will be by measuring the 2D/4D ratio. This is done by calculating the length of the index finger of a given hand by the length of the ring finger of the same hand. The validity of this evidence comes from the fact that palm, second, and fourth fingers are affected by the exposure to androgens, for example testosterone, while being in the uterus. Therefore, this is considered a crude measure for prenatal androgen exposure, with lower 2D/4D ratio pointing to higher prenatal androgen exposure. However, although some findings have shown that heterosexual and homosexual women show difference in this digit ratio, other studies have found no significant relationships and any differences. Therefore, the question is still open. So, in order to become able to answer the question, the first step is to differentiate between different types of homosexual females. The two main types are the bot and the femme. The term bot is used for non-heterosexual women who behave in a masculine way and whose appearance is masculine, while on the other hand, feminine lesbians are told to be femme. According to research, bot and femme roles appear to exist cross-culturally, so it seems plausible that there is a discrete developmental and evolutionary ethologies underlying this category. However, it could be also true that these two categories lie on a continuum of incremental masculinization caused by genetics and epigenetics factors, as well as high intrauterine sex hormone exposure. From this perspective, considering a spectrum of female mate preference, we can see the different effects that prenatal testosterone and prenatal estrogen has on sexual differentiation of brain and behavior. Estrogens masculinize an area in the human brain that influences sexual behavior and orientation. This area is INAH3, that is the sexual dimorphism area. While high amounts of testosterone leads to more global masculinization effects affecting the brain and body morphology as well as the sexual orientation. Therefore, this model suggests that there may be a neurodevelopmental mechanism which explains why female not-heterosexuality exists in at least two different forms, the masculine bot and the feminine type. If a female human fetus is exposed to high prenatal testosterone at a critical point during neurodevelopment, the big arrows show the ones who were exposed to more androgens. It develops a male type, a larger INAH3, which was the sexual dimorphism area, due to the conversion of testosterone to estrogens. Because of more global masculinizing effects of testosterone, the fetus also develop a more masculine brain in general than heterosexual women, more masculine body morphology, and exclusive or near exclusive homosexual orientation. However, on the other hand, if a female human fetus is exposed to high prenatal estrogen levels during neurodevelopmental, male type INAH3 will develop, leading to female phenotypes of various degrees of the same sex attraction, depending on the amount of the prenatal estrogen, but with a more feminine body morphology than in both lesbians because of a lower androgenic action. Now, if we focus in the more behavioral aspects, we can find that there are some typical masculine traits linked with both feminine lesbians, such as being more jealous over rival competitors that are financially more successful, being more assertive and dominant. They also are more open to casual sex and do not have the great desire to have children. Besides, personality traits and cognitive styles have shown to be more close to masculine typical ones than to feminine typical ones. Nevertheless, these traits cannot be applied to the so-called femme-lesbian group. Within this, a more heterosexual female pattern of behavior has been found. So, in conclusion, literature findings show that we cannot answer this question in a categorical way. Rather than a yes or no answer, we must consider the huge variability within homosexual female groups. Masculinization of these groups fall within a spectrum in which you could be in extremes, such as both females, and thus clear relationship between endocrinological measures and behavioral masculinization is found, but at the same time, you could fall in an intermediate level in which no clear relationship has been found. But finally, before we finish our presentation, we want to point out that although we have not mentioned the way in which social and cultural factors could be influencing female homosexual behavior, these are important aspects that should be further studied in order to have a more realistic idea on the matter, and this fall within the nature-nurture debate. Now, thank you all for your attention. We hope that you have enjoyed our presentation, and if there is someone that wants to ask us anything, you feel free to do so. Thank you again.